It's your boy Jonni.shreve, IFBB promo to tell like it is, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Coaching Up. Today we got Tristyn and Devin Bernardo. Before we get started, guys, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, hit that notification button and that like button. Well, hit the like button at the end of the video if you like it. But at least now subscribe and hit the notification buttons. Anyway, guys, we're gonna get into this video right away. Guys, we're gonna do force reps and cluster sets with Devin Bernardo. The perfect shoulder workout. Now, I picked this video specifically because my ebook's coming out and I have a lot of these techniques in there. So let's give you guys a little bit of rundown. The ebook has a beginner, intermediate, and an advanced push-pull legs program. Each of those has different types of rep schemes. The higher level you go, like the more advanced you are, there are more of the rep schemes that are in there. Cluster sets, drop sets, giant sets, rest pause sets, and so forth. Intermediate will have more of like rest pause, drop sets, yada yada. Then their beginners will have your basic stuff. So you can start from the beginning and move up. You can kind of progressive overload in a sense. Anyway, so I thought, you know what? Might as well do this video because number one, Tristyn's sweet, ripped as hell. And two, I can just explain things a little more to give you guys a little more clarity on what is the actual cluster set and everything else and how can you apply those into your training plan. So this video might seem a little bit more for the intermediate and advanced, but beginners, stick and you can still learn. So let's get after it right now and let's go.
We're here, Pure Muscle and Fitness 2.0, probably the craziest gym we've ever gone to. The amount of equipment.
I was just at Pure Muscle Fitness and literally the gym is absolutely insanely dope. It 100% is the best gym in Canada. So if you're in the area in Burlington, go to Pure Muscle Fitness. If you're not in the area, it's worth the travel to make it down there because you're only about 30 minutes away from Toronto. So make a vacation out of it. Anyway, let's get her started.
Today. In the past, we've done a lot of different high intensity techniques such as giant sets, drop sets, super sets, all of this different stuff. So today we're implementing cluster sets. So basically what a cluster set is a way to get extra reps with a heavier load. For example, if I pick a weight that I can normally do for 8 reps, I perform 6 reps on my first set, rest 10 to 20 seconds, perform as many reps as possible. So it might be like 4 or 5. And then my next set, I do 3 or 4 and so on and so forth.
So that is a different technique, it's a different way of doing clusters. Clusters can be done in a few different ways. In my ebook and how I've learned to do it before, and basically the most basic way to do it is when you do a cluster, if I say do a cluster set, do 2 cluster sets of 3 to 5 reps. That means you're gonna do, a cluster set is basically a grouping of 5. So you'll do 5, like 3 to 5 reps, 3 to 5 reps, 3 to 5 reps, 3 to 5 reps, 3 to 5 reps. So you're basically doing 15 to 25 reps. In that scheme, basically what you're doing is after each 5 reps, am I in 10 to 15 second mini rest in between doing the next 5 reps of 3 to 5 or the next 3 to 5 or the next 3 to 5 until you're done those 5 clusters, and then you take your full rest, and then if you have another cluster set, you do it again. It does allow you to load the muscle more while getting more reps, having a little more time and attention. That's the whole point, is to give yourself more time and attention or more volume with a heavier load, right? You're not gonna be able to do the same amount of load doing 25 reps in a row. Not gonna happen, right? So we're breaking them up in little mini cluster sets, right? Anyway, so that's a cluster. He's gonna go do this and we're gonna watch him perform.
3 sets, sometimes it'll be 4 sets, but the goal is to get 12 to 18 reps with whatever we normally get for only 8 reps. So we're getting more reps with a heavier load and forcing more tension on the muscles. So that's what we're gonna do today.
This talks a lot, dude. It talks so much.
Start with the machine lateral raise. I think we're gonna do a dumbbell lateral raise later on once we have a little bit more blood in our delts. We're gonna do cluster sets on the 3rd exercise on a dumbbell lateral raise and then a machine shoulder press. And then we'll go all out on the dumbbell shoulder press.
What's a cluster?
So basically it's a good idea is, you know, get your body warmed up before you do the cluster sets. Now, in my program, I like using clusters as an opener. So I might say, do dumbbell lateral raise, this exact same machine, but do clusters. So you're doing 3 to 5 reps, rest. 3 to 5 reps, rest. And then your shoulders are basically exhausted. There's enough blood in there for the rest of the workout and you're set for the rest of the workout. You can do that as an opener or you can just basically do what he's doing and basically doing 5 sets of 10 to 15 reps, getting blood in the muscle, getting your body prepped, and then going into clusters deeper into your workout. There's no right or wrong answer to this. It just make sure you're picking movements that make sense.
Cluster set?
Pick a weight you can do for 8 reps. You're gonna do 6, stop, rest for 10 to 20 seconds, go again, try to hit like 4 or 5, 3 to 5 reps, stop for 10 to 20 seconds, then you go again as many reps as possible.
Oh, okay.
So he's explaining to Devin how to actually find your sets. So you guys are probably wondering, well, how does a cluster work? Like, how do I know which weight to use? He's basically saying find a weight you can do for 8 reps and then you can do 6 reps. In my ebook, basically what I say is find a set or do one set, or if you know the set already, that you can do 10 reps with. And you're gonna use that weight for your clusters. So let's just say I'm doing dumbbell lateral raises and I can do maybe 50 pounds for good reps, for 10 reps, right? 10 good quality reps. I'll take that 50 pounds and use that for my clusters. So I'll be doing 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5 with 50 pounds, right? So that's basically how you basically find your weight to do in cluster sets.
Just trying to get more load with the same weight. So normally when you'd only get 8 reps, you're actually getting like 13 to 15 or whatever it may be. So
I always do that shit. I just don't know the names for it.
Devin's a trip, man.
So
hey, I don't label shit.
Devin's a forced rep king.
All right, here we go. So some good way to do this. So guys probably seen this machine before. This machine's in like every gym. It's like a staple in most gyms. Pure Muscle Fitness actually has a standing one and a plate loaded one. I was actually at Fuez gym. He's got a standing plate loaded long arm one, which is amazing. But what you can do with this machine to make it a little more optimal, not even really necessarily optimal, but if you want to make it more so like you're actually doing a dumbbell lateral raise, is literally instead of having your hands gripped onto the handles there, let your hands come to the side and actually just do the rep like this. Basically pull up like this instead of having your arms in like this. I like doing it this way to emulate like I'm doing a dumbbell or cable lateral raise, just because I know that for most people when they're in this position, when they go out and actually do dumbbell lateral raises, this ends up being how they're lifting the weight, and then I'm doing a lot more traps than anything else. So when we're looking at basically doing a dumbbell lateral raise or any kind of lateral raise, when I've coached this before, remember we're trying to punch right here, keep my arm straight, tiny little bend in it, and then moving out to the side. It can have a little angle coming in a slight bit. We don't have to be all the way, exactly to the lateral to the side, but a little bit to the side here. But when you're doing it, pretend you got basically, paint cans hooked onto your elbows and you're pulling from here, right? In that machine, the most of the load is forced right here at your biggest point of resistance. So doing it with your arms actually out is really good. Another cool way too, if you want to do like even reverse, basically walk to the machine, the seat's gonna be here, and you can slip your arms like this, bend over, and you can actually do reverse flies with that machine as well too. Little tips for you guys, I've been to the gym like my whole life, so you give me like 3 pieces of equipment, I can make them like 20 pieces. That's what I do. I'm like, Jesus, give me a couple fish and bread and I'll feed everybody. I didn't say that. You all think I'm sacrilegious or something like that. I'm just making a point. I can turn something into nothing or turn a little thing into a lot of things. I've been in the gym for a while. That's the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make. I've been in the gym for a while. I'm old, all right? And I look old, but I'm old. So within this set, basically doing, your straight sets. Now, what is a straight set? A straight set is basically exactly what it is. Do a straight set. There's no fancy things about it. There's no rest pause. There's no whatever. There's nothing in it. It's just basic time under tension, good tempo, straight set. They're doing straight sets and they're adding a little bit of a hole at the top. Another rep scheme or way to kind of emphasize reaching failure.
20 pounds?
I'm like 180, 180.
Feel better though?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind him not talking to you, training. But anyway, so
heavier movement. As soon as I get blood in my shoulders, I like jumping straight to the heaviest, most demanding movement, and then afterwards I'll go back to something that has like a high intensity technique. Today will be cluster sets. So first sets leading up to it are just feeder sets, so we're just gonna get a feel for it. None of them are gonna be to failure, and then the last 2 sets will push to failure.
So good. So that's a good thing to do. Like good technique is like basically like you think of your first exercise as being like your primer. It's gonna be the blend of the muscle, whether if you're doing cluster sets or exhausting your muscle, whatever it is. That first movement is going to prime you for the next movement. So when it comes to doing shoulder press as a second movement, if you're doing stuff like lateral raises, whether you're doing clusters or drops, whatever you're doing, the load doesn't have to be as great. Now, when it comes to shoulders, you don't gotta kill your shoulders. You just gotta exhaust the shit out of them with good reps, good contraction. It's not like one of those muscle groups where you can just really load them up and beat the shit out of them. I don't believe you need to when it comes to shoulders, because your shoulders are being used in so many other movements. It's being used in back, it's being used in chest, it's being used in shoulders, it's being used in legs. Your shoulders are being used in everything that you do when it comes to the gym. So loading them up really heavy isn't necessary. Now, I'm gonna say that while my man's basically lifting, 120? Like he's lifting like 80% of his body weight. Like that is nuts. Either way, let's go over some technique.
blood into his shoulders, and then
when I'm lifting here, I don't like how the dumbbells are slightly off. They're not slightly off. When you see the dumbbell, like if I see my hand here and I got this pen in my hand, all right, pen's in my hand, and when I'm pressing, whether my weight's down here or up here, that pen needs to stay the same way. If I go like this and all of a sudden the pen, if I'm up top and the pen is basically kind of doing this, that means the dumbbell's bending or tilting to the right or to the left. That means our wrist isn't being stabilized or strong, and that does make a chain reaction to stacking the elbows. So when you push up, your shoulders are gonna follow what your hands do. You gotta think gravity is one of your biggest things when it comes to training. If I drop this, it can drop straight down. I'm not gonna go anywhere else. If I have a dumbbell here and I drop it, it's gonna go straight down. What our job is to do is to make sure we aid the bar pathway. We aid the pathway of that weight as if we're working with gravity, right?
Going to failure on any of these, and we'll try to progress as fast up as possible so that we're not wasting energy in our feeder sets, and we can put the most output in our later sets when we have more load.
What is it? Now we're not getting much, but again, like just watch. I want you guys to watch, the sets. I want you to see how everything's moving. We want to press with our shoulders, right? Shoulder abduction is what we're doing, and then we're aiding that with tricep extension or elbow extension, keeping it straight. We don't want the weight coming here. We don't want to be snapping our elbow up like this either. So when we're doing dumbbells or we're doing any kind of pressing, you're not thinking straighten the arm out. We're thinking press. We want to press with the shoulder abduction, right? We don't want to sit here and try to and force it up. Keep the load on the shoulders by continuing to have good timer retention, but again, controlling the movement from top to bottom to top. Now when you're doing shoulder press, think about doing pull-up and a press, right? It's basically the same movement, only in this we're emphasizing the push and not the pull part of the movement.
Your shoulder joint, I've been enjoying not so straight up like this. I find it's a lot easier on my bicep tendon.
Gotta spread them, baby.
Now, what he's trying to say is like different. What's the best angle for your shoulder when you're doing shoulder press? Now, when it comes to dumbbells, when you have a little more free range, I feel, and literature says as well too, that when you're doing a press, it's better that you press with a little bit of an angle like this when you're pressing. Not necessarily being all the way back here, right? Because you're forcing a little too much stress on your shoulder. So you want to naturally bring your arm in a little bit this way when you're pressing the weight up and down. You don't have to be complete on the side. Let's keep going. All right, Tristyn's picking up the hundreds. You know last time I did a 100-pound dumbbell shoulder press? I just don't anymore. I don't, and my shoulders still grow. Am I saying he doesn't need to do it? I'm not saying that. He can do it, he's doing it, and he's getting good help with doing it. They're adding in forced reps. So what is a forced rep? Basically a forced rep is when your partner is forcing another rep out of you. Take that partner away, you're not doing any forced reps. This is good, but again, the guy did 5-6 reps on his own. That's a strong ass kid, right? For me, when I gauge, is that weight too heavy for that person? Well, if his rep range is gonna be around 6 to 8 reps or 6 to 10, and he starts getting a spotter at 7, he can handle that weight. If your form's clean and you can get out a good amount of reps, then the weight is justified. But if you can't handle the weight and your arms are flopping all over the place and you feel like you're in danger, drop the damn weight. 3, that's it. 4, 5. The forced reps, 1. Now, I'm gonna give you guys a tip. When it comes to doing forced reps with your partner, now your partner's job is to give you those forced reps. Your job is to tighten up your form even more. So be conscious of that. When you're with your partner training, when I have a partner that's helping me with those forced reps, I tighten my form up even more. I utilize that forced reps to make sure that my output is still technically sound. So think about that when you're doing your movements next time you have a partner. When you get spotted, clean your rep up even more. Force, good. Good. Now I'm gonna give you one more, I'll give you another tip too when it comes to the spotter. Now, spotters, unless you're a power lifter, don't spot the person like what Tristyn's doing. You're not helping yourself out. Your body doesn't know you're getting spotted. You consciously, because you can see yourself being spotted. I want you guys to look at the tempo of his reps. Your job as a spotter is to keep that tempo consistent. So when he gets those failing reps, he fails with that consistent tempo, not failing here and trying to push out, and all of a sudden he's and getting out. Help him with the lift and keep his tempo the same as if it was his first rep. He's not going to be able to do the weight after because he won't be able to eccentrically load the weight. So don't make him struggle unless you're doing powerlifting, and then that makes a lot of sense because you do want to be in a position where you are struggling and fighting to get that weight up because you have to be a powerlifter. You guys know what I'm saying. Anyway, okay, so now we got lateral raises and we're doing 3 sets of 12 to 15 and then adding a cluster in. So what he's basically doing is they're adding clusters in the end. Now for me, that's almost like a rest pause for me. Right? A rest pause would be like you're doing your set 12 to 15 reps, and then at the end of that, you take a break for a sec, and then you pump out as many reps as you can. That to me is more of a rest pause, not necessarily a cluster. This is basically doing a straight set and then doing a rest pause, in my opinion.
And then that's what I'm gonna do the cluster. I was pushing it as hard as I can, sort of similar to like what we did with Fran Barrios, and we're just gonna try to increase the intensity through that.
So watch the technique's good. So now he's doing a cluster. Now he's doing it good. So rest of 10 seconds, do it again. And then they're gonna add those force reps in at the end, which is really good. Good. Now, again, guys, I'm not saying that, because Tristyn is as young as he is, he's still a very advanced trainer. He's not you guys, right? Now, again, when it comes to you guys getting the most out of your lifts, do your best to avoid any kind of hinging or swinging until you really need to. Utilize those cheat reps at the end when you need them, when you need to create that full range of motion. When you know you can't get that extra rep up being perfectly sound or stagnant in a sense, then use a little bit of a hip jive to get the weight up so you can control the weight and get the full range of motion. Good. And like take note. Where is he spotting Tristyn? He's spotting Tristyn right here. Don't be spotting him down here or all the way up here. Spot in the place where that's where the majority of the load should be emphasized and coming from. Right? Good. Good set. I feel good. Like I'm there. Good job, guys. Let's do this.
But because you should be able to get 6 on the first one, right?
Yeah.
So you're gonna have 1 to 2 reps in reserve.
Yeah.
In your next set, then you just keep going all out.
Okay.
Now a couple things I'm seeing, and I coach this a lot, and a lot of us over exaggerate the limp wrist thing. Okay. Now we don't want to pull from our wrists, but we don't want our wrists hanging down like we're just holding luggage or bags and we're just pulling like this, because again, that's going to send off a chain reaction of instability, or we call it loading under dysfunction. The biggest problem we have when it comes to lifting is loading under dysfunction, meaning your foundation isn't sound. You're not stabilized properly. This is not good stabilization because when you're pulling, eventually you're gonna start wearing out down here. Again, you want your wrists on every movement you do to stay completely neutral and straight. We don't want any of this when you're moving. It's like an ankle. When you're running or squatting, you don't want your ankle freaking doing this shit when you're moving around. You want it to be stabilized, right? Stabilize that wrist so it's straight. So when you're pulling the weight to the side, you're not doing any of this kind of stuff and kind of like, yeah, just pulling this. I get what he's trying to do, but he's overdoing it. So don't try and copy Devin doing this, or even Tristyn doing the same thing. Don't copy him. Last but not least, guys, we got shoulder press.
It's gonna take us a sec to get a feel for it, but the last 2 sets are gonna be full out. We've been forcing reps this whole workout, but we'll do a little bit more.
So again, when we do these, any kind of machine press, guys, I'm always gonna emphasize what? Stacking the elbows. Right? So making sure we know that when we're pressing that weight is underneath, right? So a little bit, you can see Devin a bit. So I want to make sure that when I'm pressing that machine up and stacking my elbows with it. My elbows this way, I'm working against because naturally I want to press this way when this machine's going this way. So when I say stack the elbows, stack the joints, make sure that everything's stacked underneath the handle. So if this is the handle and the handle's going up this way, we're pressing in the direction of which the handle is going, maneuvering our body to make sure we can do that. So let's watch the rest of this set. Good set, good set. Come on, Tristyn. See, this would have been me and you, Tristyn. We missed it. We'll get it though. Good, good, get it, good.
Go. Come on. This is one of those like exercises where like once you give out, like you give out.
I'm gonna drop some plate in a quarter.
Pretty sure it's all the sets. Good, great workout. That was great. A very basic workout, guys. If you look at what they were doing, very basic movements, but then adding a little bit of, adding some rep schemes in there to make the set a little more spicy. You know what I mean? Just making it, again, guys, there's 1,000 ways to pet a cat. There's 1,000 ways to reach failure. And those are one of them. Cluster sets, drop sets, supersets, giant sets. Those are different ways to achieve failure. Remember, technical failure, guys. Again, a lot of these techniques will be in my ebook coming out. By the time this video is done, it'll probably be out by that time. The ultimate push-pull legs ebook will be coming out. You guys will know more about that, guys. Add me on Instagram at _jonni_. I know it's not usually the way I really do the end, but I just want to make sure you guys know that, guys. Go there to get all of my updates, and obviously jonni.shreve.com will have all on there as well. So, but if you want the most recent updates, go to my Instagram. Anyway, guys, hope you guys liked the video, guys. If you did, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share. You know I'm gonna come with a tell like it is, transparent, vulnerable truth, guys. For coaching, just said it, jonni.shreve.com. Book a 15-minute or 30-minute phone consult if you want to go with coaching. At the end of that consult, guys, I'll take off the price of that consult of any package that you pick, guys. Use my code Jonni15 for 50% off Power 13 cookbook. Use another code Johnny for 15% off Fit Army, guys. I already said, guys, add me on Instagram, jonni_shreve_. Send me your foodie pics, training clips, progress pics, whatever, guys. I'll repost it for you because you know how it is. Iron sharpens iron, progressive overload your life. In the meantime, keep dream chasing. Peace.